Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move, and knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Last week, Danny O'Connor revealed how his binge eating disorder forced him to step away from his professional boxing career. Though he faced an invisible opponent, O'Connor decided to fight it the only way he knew how.
I view it as like an athlete. Like if you got injured, you'd rehab, you'd allow yourself to heal, you'd come back, you'd be optimal. And so I view anything emotional, like physical, mental, whatever it is for the whole athlete, like we got to address this and get over it. So at that time is when I first came out and basically exercise, like understanding what supports are out there, learning more about eating disorders, seeking professional help.
O'Connor began consuming any information he could get his hands on. The first professional he felt comfortable talking to was a sports psychologist who let him slowly start acknowledging the binge eating. After years of his eating disorder going unchecked, O'Connor was scared of the damage it had done to his body.
When you really understand what a binge is, like it scared me where all that food was going. I didn't know how it was going to affect my internal organs and all this stuff, which it does. When you go against or too much or like body systems, it affects stuff, your electrolytes, like your minerals. Like I've had so many different health issues over the years because something's been affected by the eating disorder. So like it was an extremely scary time in my life. Like I didn't even know a person could eat that much food, let alone, not stopping. Like a binge is not like it's not like a comfortable place to be when your body can only fit so much. And then there's times of vomiting in between the eating. And then it just was a wicked, scary place. I wish I had that guy that I could sit at the coffee table with in front of me and be like, oh, dude, this is what's going on. Like, what's happening to you? Like, how is it affecting you?
Sadly, O'Connor couldn't find many other men to relate to on this journey. He was often the only man in the various meetings and outpatient programs he attended. Since 2013, he's only spoken to 4 men who've had similar experiences, despite the statistics showing that many more are silently suffering. Desperate to find a sense of community, O'Connor attended some Alcoholics Anonymous meetings to connect with more people who looked like him. It's this feeling of isolation that drove O'Connor to finally reveal his lifelong secret to the world in his new memoir, Weight Class, A Fighter's Life or Death Battle with an Eating Disorder.
If the stats are right from the national sites where they're quoting like 10 million men, I thought maybe my story could like help somebody that was struggling with something on their own. I was 14 years old when I first went into a weight class. I was a child. I was adolescent. So I thought for all those children, there's a kid somewhere in the world right now in Iowa who, is looking up to Dan Gable and wants to be a champion. And they're going to step into a weight class sport. I thought for that population of people that don't have an eating disorder yet, that it would be like a crucial lesson of like, don't do these things because they can have irreparable harm in the future. And, because I dealt with this thing for 20 years. It's not like I had a little habit that affected a little bit and went away. It was a 20-year journey of ultimately developing this eating disorder that took over my life and almost killed me. And really, so I think it's important for early intervention.
In addition to sharing his story, O'Connor's created Bite Like a Man, a space for men to connect and talk about issues involving food, bodies, and identity. It's estimated that boys and men make up 1/3 of all people with eating disorders, but most don't get the help they need. O'Connor hopes that his story gives others the courage to face their disorders head on. Despite not having a group of men to relate to on this journey, O'Connor's wife and friends proved to be strong support systems. And after taking a year off after 2013, he felt ready to step back into the ring.
I mean, I don't think the eating disorder was totally gone. It was just in a way better spot. So I thought like the supports I was using were helping and, I was good to go. Ultimately, I wasn't because it came back really with like a vengeance for 2018 when I went to the ICU.
Despite being the biggest fight of his life, O'Connor never even made it to the final weigh-in. The more out of control his binging became, the more extreme his starvation tactics had to be. But his body had stopped responding. O'Connor pushed himself to the brink of death to try and shed pounds his body refused to let go of. The risk of organ failure was simply the most recent in a long line of health issues over the years.
When you go against all these systems of the body, they cause serious damage on the other systems, along with like, you know, if you're overeating, obviously now you're getting all the minerals and vitamins and things that are coming in. So my health was pretty affected over the years. Like 2013, I starved so aggressively for a fight on TV that I caused myself to be anemic, which is like an iron deficiency. And I turned myself completely orange, right? And so like my hands, all my hands, my elbows, it was very visible. Like people would make comment to it. That's how visible it was. And so a lot of beta carotene. I was binge eating at one time on a lot of pumpkin and sweet potato, and it essentially turned my skin a different color.
O'Connor's binging and purging has led to so many health issues that he still has to check if any concerns today are due to that period of his life. His healing process has been a long journey of progress followed by relapses. But like a true athlete, he always kept his eyes on the prize. O'Connor continued working with professional therapists and dietitians, practicing mental wellness strategies to try and break the hold his eating disorder had on him.
And then it's kind of like just rebuilding those habits. Like, what does eating food look like for me now? Like, because it's looked like this for 10 years, but now it's not going to look like that anymore. So what does it look like? Like, now you have to build all these new habits of like, you know, this is how I eat. This is how I don't eat, or whatever I don't make rules on my stuff now. Like I like to be healthy.
The only real structure O'Connor keeps today is to eat breakfast every day. And since he doesn't have any hunger cues, he makes sure to eat at specific times in the day so that he never misses a meal, which could trigger a binge. Despite his progress, O'Connor still keeps a few bags of frozen petite peas in his freezer, just in case an urge starts to creep up on him.
I hope that it never sneaks up on me again. I hope that I never have the action of binge eating anymore, which I don't, and that I never binge eat again. But I thought that, and then I had that relapse. So that thing kind of shook me up a little bit. So I have a healthy respect for like the whole disorder. And so I kind of live my life in a certain way, or I try to live my life in a certain way where I do all the things that are going to be the most optimal to keep me in a good spot and away from the eating disorder. Because I mean, I didn't know if you'd even be able to beat an eating disorder. I mean, I talk about my feelings for sure. I don't let anything like boil up. I try to address everything, be open and honest about how I feel and what's going on. So having the professional I work with to like talk about my feelings or talk about just whatever I want to talk about, I think is helpful for me.
O'Connor's book, Weight Class, is available now wherever books are sold. You can find more information about Danny O'Connor and all of our guests on our website, ingoodhealthpodcast.org. For more behind the scenes, follow In Good Health Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Our writer-producer is Kristen Farrah. Our production manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Greg Johnson.
Each week on the Viewpoints Radio podcast, you'll hear from our leading experts on an important topic within education, history, society, psychology, and more.
As one researcher puts it, nobody waves, but everyone waves back. Once you do offer that initiation and that opportunity, people are more willing to connect with you than you think.
Viewpoints Radio podcast is produced by our team of award-winning journalists. Subscribe today by searching Viewpoints Radio wherever you listen to podcasts.